All right, I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for August 18th. Our first item is our invocation and reflection. So I'm scheduled for the invocation and reflection this evening, and I'm just going to share a reflection tonight. So I had the opportunity the last few days, a few times this week, just to interface with some of our community members who face such deep suffering in their lives. We had our members of our housing ad hoc committee and some of our housing team went down and we talked with folks on the encampment. I interacted with another young woman out in our community, living in a vehicle with no food and a broken tire. Most of these folks living life on the street for multiple years on end. And I went and spent time with a man with disabilities I took care of for many years, facing the end of his life. And it just, always gives me pause. I'm an empathetic person, and just to look around us and to remember to have gratitude for what we have in our lives, the support that most of us have, the family that we have, the community that we build together, and just never to forget the people that get easily forgotten, because in them is us, and in them is the value inherent in every person. And when we lift that up, we make a community that's such a much better place. We make ourselves better people, and we build a future that's worth one for our children to grow and to flourish in. So with that, please join me for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that brings us to item 3. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ray. Chair Strebs.
Here.
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. Commissioner DeLeeuw.
Here.
Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazer.
Here.
Commissioner Morales.
Present.
8 present.
Thank you very much. All right, take us to item 4 is proclamations. We have none before us this evening. We'll go to item 5 is communications. So first we have item 2026-1115, the Q2 Community Grant Report Summary. So you see 2 quarters through the fiscal year, sort of where the funding and activities occurred in the community grants that we've awarded. Item 2026-1010 is our monthly investment report. And item 2026-1120, a letter from Gary Hahn, Kalamazoo County Surveyor, informing the Board of Commissioners of the appointment of Joel East as the Deputy County Surveyor. Are there other communications that any of the commissioners wish to share? All right, I am seeing none. We'll go on to item 6, which is our approval of the minutes. Entertain a motion for item 2026-1118, request for approval, the August 5th, 26 draft committee of the whole and regular meeting minutes, and the July 30th, 2026 gun violence prevention ad hoc committee meeting minutes. Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Ray. Is there any further discussion? All right, I am seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We'll go now to item 7, approval of the agenda.
Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Support.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, now we'll go to item 8. We'll go to item 2026-974. We have a childcare millage post-election implementation framework presentation. We'll welcome Health Director Deb Lenz from the County Health and Community Services. Welcome, Director. There you go, perfect.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity for us to share our implementation plan as we work with the new millage. Before we start, I want to introduce the Health Department's new Deputy Health Officer, Lauren Smith-Lewandowski. Lauren previously worked in Calhoun County Health Department for over 7 years, so she brings a lot of wealth and knowledge to our department. We're really excited to have her as a part of our team. I'll give her a couple of minutes just to introduce herself, and then we'll move forward with the presentation.
Welcome.
Good evening, board. I, as Deb mentioned, have the distinct honor of serving as the new Deputy Health Officer for the Health and Community Services Department. I came from the Calhoun County Public Health Department. I worked there starting out as an epidemiologist, and then got a lot of experience working various public health emergencies under my belt, including the COVID-19 pandemic. I moved into a community health supervisor position after that, and then also served as the community public health director there. I've worked with a lot of different non-mandated public health programs, a lot of mandated public health programs, and then I managed a pretty complex portfolio of grants, bringing in nearly $1 million of grants to the county during my time with the county. I love public health. I love local public health. I think that's the best application of it, and I've gotten to see like the way that it saves lives of community members every day. And I'm also a resident of Kalamazoo County, so that kind of sweetens the deal where I get to serve the community members and serve the place that I call my home too. So thank you for letting me introduce myself, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Absolutely, well, welcome home to you. All right, Director.
All right, so our purpose tonight is to walk you through our vision of implementing the child millage during year 1. That the millage language firmly established that HCS would be the administrative house for this millage moving forward, but didn't provide real specific direction on governance or the implementation structure. So we are looking to the board to help decide that. Since the election, there has been a lot of community interest in implementing the child millage, and that interest speaks volumes to us. We think that's an asset and welcome their input to creating this millage moving forward. At the same time, we also want to ensure that the structure reflects the board's intent and provides clarity regarding roles, responsibilities, and decision-making authority. Establishing that clarity up front really defines how we move forward successfully and that there are no hiccups moving forward. Before we jump into the implementation mechanics, we want to begin with the principles guiding our recommendations of this plan, especially as these principles align with the countywide strategic plan. Principles include, excuse me, ensuring community voices are heard, investing where the barriers are the greatest, but ensuring every community within our county benefits from the millage, measuring that success by whether families' experience improves, and building a stronger foundation for our children while supporting parents in the workforce. We want to invest boldly, listen to the community with their needs, address inequities, and also demonstrate results during this first year. Success in the first year will be defined by the leadership we hire, the governance that's established, listening to our community and making sure they're engaged in that plan moving forward, especially in prioritizing funding, ensuring that that funding process is put in place. And then lastly, well, all of these will work simultaneously, but also making sure that evaluation is implemented so we're assured that we are doing the work during this first year.
Hello again. Now we're moving into our implementation overview. So this is really the meat and the potatoes of what the proposed implementation framework looks like. This is a high-level overview of the outcomes that we expect to kind of work through as the implementation progresses. We want to begin serving families as soon as responsibly possible, but we also want to make sure that we're thoughtful and transparent as we're building that process to ensure future success of the millage. As Deb mentioned, this is shown sequentially, but a lot of this work is going to be happening simultaneously, and there will often be times of overlap during this first year's implementation. The star on the slide shows where we're at today, which is our post-election mobilization. We've actually been working and preparing behind the scenes for this ever since May, so that if the millage passed, we could move quickly rather than waiting until now and then looking at a potential launch in January. We want to be quick, we want to be nimble in this implementation, and we don't want to sit on our hands when there's progress and work to be done. The preparation that we included in that is developing the positions for posting that will support this work, looking at the funding that would be needed to begin hiring as soon as possible, and then also looking at the proposed implementation timeline and the framework that we're going to be reviewing with you all today. So we're ready to mobilize, and now it's how do we mobilize and go from preparation to implementation. So arguably one of the most important things that we're going to discuss tonight is the governance structure, and it's where we're seeking feedback from the board specifically. We are envisioning a governance structure that's divided into two phases. So we have our phase one, which is Community Implementation Task Force, and phase two, the Childcare Advisory Council. And I'll get into the details of that in the next slide. But the reason that we're proposing this specifically is because, as I mentioned, we want to be reasonably quick in the implementation of this, because we know that this is going to have a really positive and significant impact on all parties who are involved and at the table. So we want to be responsible in getting the funding out the door with a goal of having some funds distributed, however the implementation group and the advisory council see fit in Q1 of next year. And now getting into what that advisory council specifically looks like. The implementation task force would be relatively small, a temporary working body, like an ad hoc of the Board of Commission. We would envision approximately 8 to 10 members who represent different perspectives from the childcare system, working very hands-on with HCS and identifying different priorities, different needs, finalizing the plan for the implementation, informing budget considerations, and then also developing bylaws so that we can kind of build that infrastructure that the advisory council will serve long term. We also want to be really transparent about who's going to be formally participating in the implementation, and we know that that process will ultimately be accountable to you as the board. We would like to propose an application process which would allow individuals with extensive experience in the childcare field and also those with lived experience to participate in both the implementation task force and also the advisory council. This would be what the standing community. It'll shift after the task force sunsets, and it would be responsible for recommending priority investment areas, helping inform the RFP process, and looking at things like eligibility, allowable uses, and expected outcomes. Again, importantly, wanting to reiterate, the advisory council would make recommendations, and the ultimate authority for the millage would remain with the county and the Board of Commissioners. Based on the board's directions tonight, our next step would be to bring forward a formal resolution establishing the task force in the process of identifying who those potential members would be.
I think this is probably a good point for us to pause a moment, have some discussion amongst board members. So, hearing about the recommended structure, I mean, really we're looking at this functioning similar to the way that the senior millage review and allocation process occurs. The structure of both of the bodies is really up to the Board of Commissioners, but we would identify, likely a number of commissioners who have interest in participating in the body. It'll work with community voices and people with the perspectives that we want to identify as needed there. And then they would make the recommendations that then come forward back to the full body. So in reading through the memorandum, the task force, because we're looking at sort of trying to get an expedited seating of that body, similar to what we did with the opioid settlement fund task force. There we sort of just reviewed applications. We had some discussion at the board level and then made appointment rather than having them go through the interview process. I think that's that is one potential approach to take with it. I want to ask the responsibility of the ad hoc. So it's for the initial year's budget development. Is that what we're seeing? And then what specifically by staffing will we be asking the task force to do?
Helping to inform the appropriate staffing model as we're kind of evaluating it through the first year's implementation. I would envision the task force to be up and running for around the first 6 months. And we recognize that the work's going to evolve really quickly.
Yeah.
And we recognize that we don't understand the full extent of the work that's going to be associated with this millage.
Yeah. So, because right now you're proposing a couple of positions, but it's whether or not those are like defined enough, and we want to have the community partners there to help us potentially refine the scope of the work that the staff people will be doing. Is that what we're asking?
Correct, following the implementation and hiring of that initial supervisor and that initial community health worker.
So it'd be about staffing beyond that?
Yes.
I see. Okay, thank you. And then developing the bylaws, which would apply to the future advisory council. Okay. Thank you for that. What other questions, Vice Chair?
First off, thank you very much for explaining that much better than it was written in here. When I first read this, I'm like, they don't understand that the Board of Commissioners put that on the ballot and everything has to be approved by the Board of Commissioners. But you used the term recommend, and I appreciated that more than you know. I'm getting to this. I would say that the Community Implementation Task Force should also include commissioners on that as well. They're the ones that went out to the public and said, we're developing a plan, we're going to do that. If we just wash our hands and say, oh, we're just going to let staff do it all, that wouldn't look good on us. And I have to say that. Secondly, I do think that commissioners should be involved in the process. You're explaining it much better than when I read it last night. So
Okay.
I will give you kudos for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple of questions. I think John spoke to our point of having commissioners on the committee. The Community Implementation Task Force versus the Childcare Advisory Council. One says the application process and approved by the Board of Commissioners, and then the other says appointed by the Board of Commissioners. I think both should be appointed by the Board of Commissioners and not somebody selects the applicants and then we just approve their selections. I don't think that should happen. And then also just want some examples of people with significant experience in the childcare sectors. Like, who are those folks? Are those providers?
The goal would be to have a wide variety. Kalamazoo Childcare Coalition. I hear from family members too, who have to hear from potentially people who can influence policy locally in that field too.
Okay. And so would the application be posted on our website, or is it going out some other way? Like,
So I apologize because I'm new to this, but my understanding was for the opioid application that was posted on the county website, and there were pre-identified categories that were approved by you all that we would include in the resolution that we would bring forth if you guys approve what we're proposing today.
Thank you. Additional questions here? Let me go to Commissioner Gisler and then I see council. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Tammy always triggers thoughts in my mind. And one of the people I would like to suggest, I don't think we're ready to start talking individual names and whatever, but I'm a big fan, as you all know, of Tim Bartik at the W.E. Upjohn Institute, who has written books about early childcare and early education and how important it is that it reflects, and I think he's got the longitudinal studies that he didn't necessarily do them, but he's analyzed them, that show there's less going to jail, committing crimes, recidivism after that if you do go to jail, and it all benefits from early childcare. So I'll just be beating the drum for Tim Bartik. Now he may say he doesn't want anything to do with it, but I would like to throw his name into the hopper, and I don't know what he would be classified as, local expert or something like that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and please forgive me if you did. I was writing some notes. Did you acknowledge that Commissioner Wheeler has joined us? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I did mean to recognize that. She did join our meeting at 6:36 this evening. Thank you. Thank you too, council. Yes. I was gonna say it earlier now, I just can't help but say it, but I just love what a liberal bleeding heart, Commissioner Gisler, what you really have under there. I see you. I just want you to know that. Okay. Yeah.
I never said I was against the child care concept, but I said I think out of our $325 million, we don't need another millage. So I don't like to be categorized as a bleeding heart.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Still against taxes and every
I'm
turn.
not the
point
hard
noted.
ass you may think I am.
Point noted, Commissioner. Thank you. Appreciate you tolerating our banter there. So on this matter, as far as the task force, do you feel like you have the clarity that you need from the commission of how to move that forward? So I'd like to ask some additional questions on the advisory council. So, and this I think relates back to bylaws for council. When we've established a new formal body, typically we have that come through the full board for the initial seating, and then it would go to board appointments for reappointments or new vacancies. And so I would expect then that would be the process that we would utilize here rather than just through the board appointments committee. But just to clarify that, as it was part of the memorandum that we received. Are you in alignment with that, council?
Yes, ma'am. I've not seen that memorandum, but based upon the custom and practice of the body and what you said, yes, ma'am. And we will already write this into the new bylaws as one of the advisory boards. We're going to put that in. Thank you.
Excellent, good. So just more changes to add to that draft that keeps drafting. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. And you indicated though that this need to be done expeditiously. So are you looking at that we waive the appointments committee, or is this going to be part of the appointments committee? Question.
So I think my understanding of the recommendation from staff, the initial body, this task force, that there's going to be a public posting on our website for applications for this. And we can identify some, this whole board will review those applications and will pay to that task force. We will then go process the full board for those initial interviews. Did that answer your question?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, I just clarity on that, and we haven't established a number of persons to be on the appointments committee. We have we're looking at somewhere between 8 and 10. And I agree with the chair, we need to probably have a couple commissioners on that, whether they're above, beyond that number or part of that number. And probably the same thing for the appointments committee too, I guess.
Do we have the commissioners who have interest in serving on the child care task force?
The task force, yes.
Yes,
The
okay.
council, no.
Yeah. All right, so I'm seeing Vice Chair. I saw Commissioner Ray. You have Vice Chair Pro Tem? Okay. I probably lack capacity to do that right now. Okay, and we can have additional, we'll finalize that through a resolution to hold. Okay, so I guess further direction, Vice Chair Pro Tem, the number of total seats that we want. We're gonna have the participation of 3 commissioners. We want to go up to 10 total. We have 7 community voices and 3 commissioners. Commissioner Ray?
I think, first of all, I think we should have an odd number. But, excuse me, I would think we would want more than 7 communities, so maybe 8, and then 3 commissioners, or 9. No, because that makes it even, Dale. Or we have 10 and then 3 commissioners. I think there's gonna be a lot of interest. Obviously, there's been a lot of communications.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talking about interest in this millage and where the funding is going and how it's gonna be allocated and spent. But, yeah, I don't want to just be limited to 3
Okay,
community members, and then we have all providers on the committee.
yeah. And we can nail down sort of like how many of each sector we want to ensure is represented, so we can prioritize whatever, you know.
Also, with the timeline, how long is the application gonna be posted?
Well, I mean, we can, our typical process is 30 days, but we can set whatever process the board wants, allowing the opportunity for people to be aware that it's posted. I mean, you know, we want to expedite it, but we also want people to make sure they have opportunity. So do you have thoughts about beyond, would you like to see less than 30 days or, yeah?
They're saying we want to expedite the process, but I think we should do it right and no different from any other
Yeah.
process. It should be open for 30 days.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's just moving it now so that we're not like at January trying to get it up and running is the gist of it there. Okay, so I'm hearing sort of by consensus from discussion, 10 community members, 3 commissioners. And then we'll get the application up and posted for 30 days. Once we identify sectors, I would imagine you'd be coming back to us in 2 weeks with the resolution that would be
Correct.
crafting. So we can take additional feedback to administration on what we would like to see sector representation look like, and staff can take those perspectives into consideration as they present with us, which we can refine before final passage. Okay. And then the Childcare Advisory Council. Do you want any specifics from us at this time? Or we want to let the task force sort of come forward with their
I
recommendations?
think that evolves from the task force
Yeah.
moving forward,
Okay,
just to ensure that we have people represented around the table moving forward.
yeah, okay. I think that makes sense to me as well. All right, thank you for pausing there, and if you want to go forward, please do.
Next, we're moving into our staffing model. So as I had mentioned previously, we're proposing an initially lean staffing model, and we're doing that for 2 reasons, because we want to make sure that we're being responsible with the implementation of these funds from the taxpayers. And then we also want to make something that's scalable. So we can start small and then potentially grow the team depending on how the work may evolve. The amount of money in this millage is significant, so we know that there is potential to be a lot of work coming out of that. So within the staffing model, we initially want to integrate a childcare millage supervisor. This person would operate very similarly to Cassie Bailey, as I know a lot of you are probably familiar with her work in the Area Agency on Aging. She has a responsibility for contracts, liaising with entities that receive funding, and then also providing oversight for all of those contracts and the funds going in and out. That would allow us to effectively and quickly get this off the ground, while also making sure that there's someone to liaise with all of the different providers, because we recognize that that will be really critical to make sure that this work is successful. And so then off of that, oh, I missed a point. So in the general fund, $500, which would allow us to make sure that this process is happening quickly and efficiently. We have a pretty robust understanding county infrastructure to get this person trained. So again, we can reach our goal by getting some of the money out the door in Q1 of next year.
Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question about that salary. Is that competitive, number one? Number two, when we took our salaries, I thought we were paid as the lowest paid employee. Is that lower?
It's just a partial year, so this is just the funding from
the
September
Okay.
28th to January.
So what would that, it's gonna be 60,
It's 70.
oh, 70? Okay, I didn't get that far. All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Because I was like, look, absolutely not.
That's a good, same question. I had
Okay.
that same one earlier. Commissioner
Okay.
Morales.
Yes, so that would be from the 28th through the end of this year. And then to build on the relationship building piece of this work that's really important, we're also proposing to hire a community health worker to get out into the community and help not only families, but also the workers at the different entities with navigating and making connections to one another. And as I mentioned before, we would leverage our existing county infrastructure. It's one of the benefits to the way that we're going to implement this. We have existing finance and procurement and communication and human resources in place, which allows us to move a little more efficiently.
Yeah. So one additional question I want to hit on the childcare millage supervisor. So I know, you all know your staff team in your department, and just looking through the job description, there's a very heavy emphasis on data analytics and contract compliance. All those certainly are going to be needed. But sort of as an aside is that relationship building and the liaisoning. And I think that is a really core skill set needed within the position. More, the job description calls for like a background in accountancy or business management. And this is really about folks that can build the coalition and the network and the relationships. And so I just want to think through that. I don't know if they end up then sort of separate tracks that staff end up being on. So that was a thought that I had. And then the community health workers, those just require an associate's degree, but aren't they only starting in they start at 1560 something an hour? Is that correct?
They are
It's a K104.
I didn't bring that information with me, sorry.
I think I have that. Let me, as I was inquiring
They're
earlier.
106s or 107s, depending on if they have, the 106s are tier 1, which would be like somebody with lived experience or an associate, and then tier 2, or the social or community health worker 2 would be those that have additional education or certification.
So they're all within the K104 band, though, right? You're talking about like what step of the band they would be in?
They actually start at 2 different salary bands. So
Okay.
one is, I think it's 106 and 107, or
Oh,
107, 108.
the job description says 104.
4?
Mhm.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. It should be.
Is it 106? Thank you.
It is
Thank you,
104
Commissioner.
for a community health worker 1. It is 106 for community health worker 2.
Thank you for that assist, Commissioner Wheeler. I see a question from Vice Chair Pro Tem and then Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. We haven't collected any money yet, so this 32 is a wage, or else we're gonna fringe with it, et cetera. Where's the money coming from? Just to asking for a friend, sorry.
Yeah, the proposed recommendation is it comes from the general fund. Commissioner Ray?
Thank you, Chair. To Vice Chair Pro Tem's point, I was gonna ask, once we start bringing in the money from the millage, can we get that back? Number one, but number two, my question about the position descriptions, are we still sending them to the DEI director before we post them? Because that used to be something the board required.
Sending them to the DEI.
Director.
So these are already established. We didn't create anything new yet.
Okay, well,
So,
later in our agenda, aren't we creating these positions?
They are new position creation, so they are new position creation, so what you're stating, Health Director, is that it's a position of an existing job description
PD
already.
is existing. What we're asking for HR, we need to create that position and align it with an account in order for that position to be recognized. So
Okay,
the creation and elimination is typically where you're adding somebody to your team in a new role or a new, a new program, and eliminate it potentially if you, eliminating somebody, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But so this would be creating these two positions. We have a universal PD for CHW. We're not recreating a CHW PD because this position will align with that one. Same with the supervisor. By title and how we advertise that, we are going to call it the child millage supervisor. However, that position aligns with a position that's already created that is similar to Cassie Bailey's in AAA. So we didn't recreate anything. We didn't create something new. We're using existing PDs. We are just asking to create that position
you, Health
within a
Director.
specific budget.
Thank you for stating that again, Health Director.
Yes,
So your
So to
question,
my
Commissioner.
point about sending things to the DEI director, some of this like requiring a bachelor's degree or requiring an associate's degree for something like a community health worker, which is like an 8-week certification program. It doesn't require an associate's degree to hold that position. My question would be, could we add language that says like equivalent education or experience to even the one that requires a bachelor's degree for the supervisor position? So we're not eliminating people from applying for the position. That is a board decision and not their decision. So
That's
I'm kind of
correct.
asking my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Ray, and I absolutely support that recommendation. Vice Chair and then Commissioner Kist.
I 1,000,000% support that. I think we as an organization and a lot of other organizations put a lot of weight in pieces of paper that don't equal real world experience. And what you end up getting is you get people that can talk out of a paper sack, but they can't actually do the actual work. And I've seen that again and again and again in every industry from government to cannabis. So that being said, now my understanding of the $32,500 was that that was just a front, or that we were loaning that money so that they could get up, you guys, that program could get up and running and be reimbursed by the childcare millage. That's the case, correct?
That's what I would assume, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that was my understanding. I'm in full support of that. That's how you get it up and running. So you're not starting from scratch in January. I completely support that as long as that money is reimbursed from the actual millage. Go for it. I think that makes sense. It'll make it a smoother transition. And then the 32,500 with a 40% fringe rate for anybody that cares is about $68,000 a year.
So interim administrator, yes.
I just wanted to, just address we talked a little bit about some HR policies. We do have the HR director here, but I do want to lift up that all of our positions do have language around equivalent experience. So that's acknowledged. I just want to make sure that that's lifted up as well. And if there's something in particular, the official like PD language, like all of our positions do that. So yeah, well, I would invite the HR director up. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, HR Director.
My pleasure. Good evening. If you look at the job description that you have in front of you, it does say it's required for a bachelor's degree, but if you look at, I think the third bullet there, it says any equivalent experience, combination of training, education, and experience that provides the required skills, knowledge, and abilities. So in most of our job descriptions, I would say all with the exception of sometimes there's a certification or something like that that's required. But the one I think that's there in your packet under the minimum qualifications, it lists bachelor's degree, at least 1 to 3 years of related experience. And then the third bullet says, or any combination.
So I would just like to provide feedback to this point that Commissioner Ray is making. So while that may be the intention, when I read this, I see these 3 bullets are required of me as the applicant. I need a bachelor's degree, I need 5 to 7 years of experience, and I need other combination of skills,
see.
training, and equipment. So I would not apply if I did not hold all 3 of those requirements.
Very helpful feedback.
So I think there's a way to massage that language to say or in there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely willing to take that note and go back to look at this language is throughout all of our job descriptions. So I think that's a great note, and we can look at how to clarify that for applicants.
But thank you very much, Commissioner Morales.
So I just want to go back to, I feel like I'm in agreement with Commissioner Ray, but I also want to highlight those of us who do have degrees that work very hard for them, and they're not just a piece of paper. I know you probably didn't mean it that way, Vice Chair, but I hold my degree in all the education and certifications that I have had to a high level. So I do understand where you are coming from. However, I think the language is misleading. And if I, in my educational field, were to look at that, the first thing I would see is bachelor's degree, and someone on that committee who is skimming through that. My first thought would be, I'm hiring someone with a bachelor's. So, not to beat y'all up, but we do need some clarification as we move forward. Thank you for bringing up that point, Commissioner Ray, especially for a health worker position paying $16 when you're asking for a bachelor's degree first. I think that that first sentence can say bachelor's degree or equivalent. That's most of the language that I see when I'm going through a hiring process. That or is right there and not 3 bullet points down.
Commissioner Gissler, my apologies for
Oh, I'm sorry.
getting up out of order. Commissioner Gissler.
Yeah, I don't want to turn everything into personal issues tonight, but I heard Cassie Bailey's name mentioned, and that's one person in your organization, Deb, that I absolutely can't say enough for. She's incredible doing what she does. She's services the Older Adult Services Advisory Council very well. She got us through 2 task forces, and I think my colleague Wendy will attest to she is first rate. So if she's just being used as an equivalent, great. But I'd hope if you're going to try to lure her away from where she is now, offer her some scratch or something, because she's really good at what she does. There you go. Thank you.
Vice Chair, you had another, did you have another?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was just saying that requiring a bachelor's degree for a $16 an hour job is absolutely ridiculous. And that was my point. I did not mean to offend the people that have degrees, Commissioner Morales.
Okay, thank you. Okay, appreciate you. All right, let's continue.
And the last section that we have for this evening is looking at accountability metrics. One of the most important things when we integrate accountability into the infrastructure would be identifying an external evaluator to be able to bring them in on the ground floor so that we can establish really strong baseline data and establish outcomes and data tracking mechanisms to demonstrate outcomes over the duration of the entire millage. We would propose interfacing with the board and reporting back to the board with quarterly reports, potentially an annual report, looking at a performance dashboard that's public facing so that you all as a board have an opportunity to look at that information, but that it's also publicly available to the community members. Financial reporting would be a component of that, along with having that independent evaluator in the process, and then also obtaining feedback from the community, because we want to make sure that the millage funds are truly meeting the needs, since this was put forth to meet those needs. The measures would ultimately need to be finalized and put forth from the advisory council to you all as the board as well.
So I'd like to just hear a little bit more about that. Help me understand what an independent evaluator would look like. So we would contract with an outside, like a consulting firm that would come in to do the evaluation. Is it a significant component of the manager's job description about program evaluation?
Helping with program evaluation, a millage of this level, essentially, knowing that we have other initiatives in the community, such as Kalamazoo Promise, being able to evaluate those against each other effectively, I think can really go to demonstrate how some of these initiatives could potentially work together to improve outcomes long-term. And while the data management and performance management absolutely would fall to a supervisor, we were envisioning something that was more at almost like a PhD level to be able to truly demonstrate what the outcomes are for this, because it's going to be very nuanced and very layered.
Commissioner Morales.
Outside of place-based scholarships, where else would you get your information? Are you leaning on the Upjohn Institute to support that? Because everybody doesn't receive those place-based dollars. So that's only a certain subset of people in one area of the entire county.
We would look at an external evaluator like Upjohn going through the appropriate procurement process and RFP process to see what types of evaluations or suggestions that they would have, since that would be their area of expertise.
And again, that's utilizing that implementation team to put forward who they believe would be the best evaluator. looking at a community, you always want to attach those measures. So if we look at Cradle, that cradle to career, how are we looking at, how are we trending or putting that data forward to say, you know, we put all these implementations in place for infants to toddlers. We have the Kalamazoo Promise that then puts them through, again, I'm just speaking to the city on this, but putting them through college and having some of those opportunities to prepare them for career and giving back to our community. So who holds that data? Who holds how we braid that data together? So we have an all holistic approach to looking at how these millages have impacted our community as a whole.
Right, I have Vice Chair, then Commissioner Morales, then Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Just to throw it in there for a metric, workforce participation. When this millage was going on, I talked to my community members and I talked to my neighbors, and I talked about this being an economic development opportunity as well as just a childcare millage. And so one of the metrics you could look at is workforce participation. We seeing more secondary, family members joining the workforce now that they have the ability for childcare?
Commissioner Morales?
Yes, some of the same sentiments. And then looking at other school systems and, comparing a Portage to the city of Kalamazoo or Kalamazoo Public Schools or Comstock or Gull Lake, those areas, I think will give you a different perspective as well. I think if you centralize just looking at the city of Kalamazoo, those numbers may be skewed based on where we even set educationally among other states, but specifically in the state of Michigan.
And I appreciate that. I was just emphasizing, using that as an example of Upjohn is included within that city work and working with the Promise to assure, cradle to that career kind of concept.
Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with what the council has been saying. I think it gives a good framework. Should also point out that many of the outlying areas like Gull Lake and Galesburg, Augusta, and Scotts and Vicksburg don't have a promise. So it's kind of focusing in one spot when we want to serve the whole county of Kalamazoo. And I think we need to be mindful of that in this. And I appreciate the framework that my colleagues are working on in this situation, and I appreciate your work and bringing this forward so we get this going in expeditiously as we can. And I think, but you see the concern of framework, paying for it, and making sure that it's effective. So I think it's critical that we have reports on this in a very timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you.
So almost to the end here. So following tonight's discussion, we will work with Deputy County Administrator Smith to provide your feedback and update or refine our plan moving forward. Again, these questions were presented to you. Many of them came up in the discussion earlier, but getting a clear understanding as we move forward would be appreciated, and we'll incorporate that all as we move that resolution forward at the next meeting. Ultimately, I think the bottom line here is we want to ensure that this program is something we build together, and that so that it delivers the greatest possible impact to all of our children and family within our community, not just the city, but also within the county. So that's what we're hoping for. And we want to thank you for the opportunity and welcome any additional questions. This one?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd asked for her to go back, and we have just a couple questions maybe here that we haven't touched on. So the last one, frequency, the board would like to receive implementation updates and reporting mechanisms. So I just want to make sure that I open that opportunity for any suggestions from commissioners on that. How often do we want to see reporting on implementation? Is it quarterly? Is that what I heard? Commissioner Ray?
Thank you. So I thought we talked about this task force not being in place very long. So will we get quarterly updates, or should we get like monthly updates How often is the committee gonna be meeting? We probably should know all of that first before we talk about how often we want to be updated.
Yeah. So it looks like until they would complete sort of that initial series of tasks that we put in front of them, and the estimate of 6 months, then maybe monthly reports would make sense then. Or the other option would be like quarterly, so we'd get a midway report and then a final report from task force. I think either are appropriate options. What are other thoughts from commissioners? Commissioner DeLeeuw?
We're gonna have 3 commissioners on the board. I'm assuming if something comes up, we'll hear from them on a monthly basis, I would imagine.
Yep, you will be at those meetings too, Commissioner Ray, so that's a good point. All right, so are we leaning towards quarterly report? Is that where we're at? Vice Chair?
I think quarterly reports are probably on the excessive side. Like as Commissioner DeLeeuw said, we're gonna have 3 commissioners. Hopefully during our members' time, one of those 3 commissioners will inform the rest of the board of what's going on. I certainly think we need a report when this task force is done and they've concluded. Oh, definitely, probably a long conversation. But me personally, I don't need to see quarterly reports unless the rest of the board wants it.
So maybe then we just challenge the participating commissioners to provide a monthly update rather than a formal report. What was that, Commissioner Morales? Oh, good. Vice Chair has committed. All right. And then the others, if there was anything else that we wanted to make sure that we elevated for staff to consider in the development of implementation. Okay. Thank you for entertaining that space for those couple questions. Thank you for the work, the presentation, the several months of preparation, and we look forward to seeing this launch successfully. We'll have opportunity for more community voice as we're solidifying this sort of launch plan and the way that it is designed and supported. And we look forward to that. Good. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Takes us to item 9, opportunity for public hearings. We have none. And now item 10. This is our first opportunity for public comment. So if you have something that you'd like to share with the board, please come forward, share your name and where you're from. You have up to 3 minutes to address the commission on any topic. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Berglund with the Michigan Transformation Collective. We convene and facilitate the Kalamazoo Childcare Coalition as part of the Kalamazoo Blueprint for Peace Coordinating Council. And a few months ago, I shared with you that we were going to be in recipient of funds for a small TriShare pilot. And I wanted to let you know that the pilot launched last week. And so we would encourage you to share a flyer that we'll be sending you, that one that is business focused and one that is parent focused, talking about the employers enrolling in TriShare and then the reimbursement that the employer will receive in order to drop the parents' childcare costs by 2/3. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them after.
Thank you very much, Beth.
Thanks.
Welcome. Hi.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but I am sure many of you are aware of the protest that happened at the Kalamazoo City Commission meeting last night against flock cameras, and I wanted to reiterate some of those concerns to you here tonight. I urge you to do whatever you can to either stop the installment or usage of flock cameras, and I think that this is one of the most pressing issues that we have facing our communities, because surveillance causes things like stalking to rise, and especially when it comes from cops or other people in the area. And I want to impress upon all of you that we are living, breathing human beings. We are not extras in movies that need to be monitored every second of every day. We are not video game characters. And I think it is really important for all of us to understand that this surveillance is not specifically helping to catch criminals at any higher rate. What it is in fact doing is making people scared to go to their jobs. It is making people scared to leave their homes, and it is causing, all in all, unrest amongst the public. I think also something that is really important is that I went to work today and I polled some of my coworkers about how many of them knew what flock cameras were and if they were in their county. A resounding no, I don't know what that is, and no, I did not know that it was in my community came from almost every single one of them. I think there's a lot of distrust between the public and public officials currently, and I think that part of that comes from things being installed amongst our homes and our businesses and our third spaces without our knowledge and without the proper transparency that is needed. I urge all of you to do what you can. As I said, in case I didn't state it before, my name is Chloe Davis. I live in the Edison neighborhood and I have for my whole life. Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Nate Evans. I've lived in Kalamazoo pretty much my entire life. I was at the protest at the city commission regarding this issue of the flock camera, given that it was not originally on the agenda. And then thanks to the protest, we pressured the city to have a vote on flock cameras, and that when their contract is supposed to be renewed, they will have another vote as to whether or not they will actually continue with any new or existing flock contracts. And I urge this board in any way that it can to do the same. I have to drive for work as I am in catering, and that means traveling all across Kalamazoo County and in surrounding counties. And everywhere that I have gone for my job, I have seen at least 3 flock cameras on my way there. And I want to stress that all of these flock cameras were put up without the consent of the people that were living there, without a referendum, without a vote of any kind. I'm not aware of the tools that you guys have at your disposal to implement policies against flock countywide. I know that flock has gone individually to local cities, local towns, local villages themselves, and they have made deals and offered contracts with individual cities. But I urge you to work with the city commission and their new vigilance towards flock cameras, because these things are problem causers. They are not problem solvers. And every flock camera that remains standing is an invasion of our privacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nate. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment?
Good evening, Jeff Messer, City of Kalamazoo resident, candidate for Kalamazoo Public Library District Board of Trustees on your November 3rd ballot, nonpartisan section. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. I am appearing before the commission for the first time without facial hair since before the pandemic 6 years ago. This is my flyer from last year. I'm going to recycle these by giving them to you when we're over. The public can read and respond to tonight's remarks on my campaign blog at messer.substack.com or scan the QR code on your screen. I'm running for Kalamazoo Public Library District Trustee for a very simple reason. I'm an actual library patron. I've been a frequent user of in-person services at the library for over a decade. For example, I composed tonight's remarks on a library computer. I printed tonight's address on a library printer. I used library restrooms while writing. My opponents in this election, as well as the current trustees, don't use in-person services at the library. They are dependent upon library staff to tell them what is happening in the library, which necessarily limits their knowledge of what is going on and the full truth. Meanwhile, I have firsthand knowledge of where the library is falling short in its facilities and patron services. I can form independent opinions of how well the library is operating. For example, do my opponents know that the roof leaks every time there's heavy rain and a half dozen water catch buckets are placed around the building? What an embarrassing situation for National Library of the Year 2002. Do they know that the water supply to the first floor water fountain is inadequate, making that fountain nearly unusable? Do they know that some restroom doors are hung incorrectly, creating the risk of someone becoming trapped in the restroom should the handle fall off? Do they know that the lower level restrooms have been closed locked for the better part of a year? The voters of the City of Kalamazoo, Kalamazoo Township, Oshtemo Township, and Texas Township Precinct 3 generously fund the library district near the state cap of 4 mills. So why does the library have these and other chronic facilities issues? What is the library spending money on that patrons see no benefit from? I look jealously at the Portage District Library, which serves its patrons with a designated indoor eating area, hot water dispenser, adequate laptop computer facilities, and ample study rooms, some of which can be reserved online. The Kalamazoo Library has removed so many books from its collection that it has plenty of space for similar facilities. KPL patrons have to suffer with worn, dirty, 28-year-old computer workstation furniture that does not accommodate laptop computer use or device charging. My opponents will likely have an outdated view of the library, which emphasizes books and literacy. While the library is still that, I think the greatest value of the library is as a community center, a third space where people can go without being expected to buy anything, especially on the hottest days of summer and coldest days of winter. The Kalamazoo Library also fails its users and patron service, including the fact that it has not resumed full pre-pandemic hours. That's my time up. Thank you. Check it out. I'll got these flyers for you.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there anyone else wishing to join us for public comment? Welcome.
Good evening, Jane Ghosh with Discover Kalamazoo. First off, I want to, a couple weeks ago, we had our groundbreaking for the indoor sports facility, and some of you were able to make it, but not all, and I'm just deeply appreciative of all the support of the county along the way. And I also want to tell the new interim county administrator controller how much I look forward to working with them in the new capacity. And I understand from prior meetings that the plan for unused American Rescue Plan funds was that they would be reported and returned if they were not going to be able to use by the various assignees by September 1st. And so in advance of that, I just wanted to give you an update. I came a couple months ago to talk to you about the fact that our 2026 expense budget was going to be down for the promotion of Kalamazoo County versus 2025. We did everything we could to cut where it would least impact visitor spending. Ultimately, we had to cut our advertising and community support budgets. Most of the community support events are already behind us, but from an advertising standpoint, much of our advertising season is still ahead. We still continue to advertise for leisure visits in August, September, October, primarily. And our year-on-year advertising budget is down 35,000. As I said, we cut everywhere else first, but when we couldn't cut anywhere else, we had to cut that advertising budget. So that was already going to reduce the number of ads we were able to serve. And then we've also seen a significant increase in cost per impression. So you kind of measure ads served by impressions, and our cost per impression are going up significantly this year versus last year, even further reducing the number of impressions that we can have. So I know you have tough choices to make on how to deploy those American Rescue Plan funds that may be remaining, but Discover Kalamazoo can spend money quickly, efficiently, and effectively at any amount. So if you find yourselves with even just $10,000 or $5,000 remaining, we can deploy that very quickly in our advertising channels against existing ads that we already have. So wanted to leave you with that message as you're making your decisions in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Any others? All right, I am seeing none. With that, we will end our first opportunity for public comment. We'll go now to item 11, our consent agenda.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I move that the consent agenda items be voted on at one time by a roll call vote and be considered as a consent agenda by the board.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any discussion? All right, with that, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray, Chair Strebs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLeeuw,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. That consent agenda has passed. All right, we will go to item 12, unfinished business and general orders. Is there any other unfinished business? We're seeing none. We'll go to item 13, new business, our non-consent items. So we have item 2026-975, request for approval for position creations within the maternal health division.
Support.
Motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. We'll open discussion. Vice Chair.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I completely support this. It's a smooth transition. I just wanted to make sure that, and ask one more time, that this money will be reimbursed when we are collecting from the millage dollars next year. I know we're taking it out of 101, it seems, but that it will be replaced next year.
Administrator?
Yeah, I will certainly verify the information, but that's my understanding.
If needed, then we can always move a motion if it's required, as Administrator. I would agree with that same sentiment is also lifted up by Commissioner Ray. All right, any other discussion? All right, I am seeing none. We'll close discussion. Clerk, will you please call a roll?
Commissioner Morales?
Yes.
Commissioner Ray?
Yes.
Chair Stribbs?
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes.
Commissioner DeLeeuw?
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler?
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler?
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. All right. That takes us now to item 14, which is our second opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone else wishing to make one before the board?
Talk about something different. Good evening.
You have to turn your mic back on, Mr. Messer. There you
Okay.
go.
Good evening, Jeff Messer, City of Kalamazoo resident and Rank My Vote volunteer. I'm not sure how much I've ever talked about ranked choice voting here at the County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Chair Stribbs, for being a supporter of ranked choice voting. Some of you might remember that in 2023, I was one of about 18 volunteers who collected approximately 3,200 petition signatures from City of Kalamazoo registered voters. That qualified us to place a ranked choice voting charter amendment on the November 2023 ballot in the city of Kalamazoo. Voters approved our charter amendment with overwhelming 71% support. Also in that year, our volunteers in East Lansing and Royal Oak also collected petition signatures, got ranked choice voting charter amendments on the ballot in those cities, received voter approval. We got on the ballot in Ann Arbor in 2021. Voters in Ann Arbor approved our charter amendment with overwhelming 73% support, and then Ferndale did it on their own in 2004. So now 5 Michigan cities have amended their charters for ranked choice voting for local elections. But currently there's a conflict in Michigan election law that does not allow us to use ranked choice voting. So what we're currently doing is we're identifying candidates in this November's election who support ranked choice voting, and we're going to try to get them elected because when the new state legislature is seated in January, we want them to amend Michigan election law to allow for a local option for ranked choice voting. That would activate those charter amendments in those 5 cities, and also we would probably pursue more local initiatives for ranked choice voting. And so what I'm asking all of you and anyone who's watching the meeting tonight to do, come visit me in Bronson Park during lunchtime live this Friday from 11:30 to 1:30, because we have a postcard campaign. We're asking people to fill out these postcards that kind of summarize the situation I just gave you. And in January, we're going to have volunteers in Lansing go to all 110 offices of the state representatives. And then, I'm sorry, I don't know how many state Senate districts there are, 40 or something, I guess, and say, hey, here's a stack of postcards from all the constituents. We want you to pass a ranked choice voting local option the first 100 days. So again, this Friday, Bronson Park, lunchtime live, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. South Street side. I have a table right across the street from First Presbyterian Church / temporary location of the Recovery Institute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Anyone else wishing to make comment? All right, I'm seeing none. We'll close that second and final opportunity for public comment. We'll go to item 15, reports of our officers, bodies, administrator, and controller. So I'm just going to take a couple minutes. I was a little too in my feelings 2 weeks ago. I just want to thank more in depth my commission colleagues. I came through the primary at the beginning of this month, and every single member of this board, particularly my Democratic colleagues, but really all of you, have been so kind to me. You know, Commissioner Mazer just on the phone yesterday, just being so supportive, so kind. Commissioner DeLeeuw, both you and your wife, providing a lot of moral support and yes, and resources as well. Just very appreciated. Vice Chair Taylor, with all his network of connections and political acumen, was very gracious also to provide guidance and support and insight. Always liking the title of political director in his life. Commissioner Morales helped connect me with members in the community, went on the radio with me, spoke with great passion to the community as we were working with other statewide campaigns, with Abdul for Senate, and just being, you know, a powerhouse and fun and just
You look good, girl.
really great. See that? Compliment her that I get that back. Look at that. Commissioner Wheeler as well. I mean, just always very, you know, kind, supportive, encouraging, and you know, even when you're not feeling well, taking the time, you know, just to reach out, and I appreciate you. And Commissioner Ray, out there, even with the baby, knocking doors with me in the hot, burning heat. You know, I mean, right? So for you, you know, your leadership has meant a lot to this community, all these board members, but having your support in particular was important for me to go forward in the effort. And I just didn't get a chance to tell you that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. There I go again. Whew. Take a breath. I couldn't even not get any of that out last time, so I was way too tired. Oh, goodness. So interim administrator, we now officially hold that title for you, and we want to thank you as well. This transition time is an important one for county government, and I'm just grateful to get to work alongside of you. And we'll continue to have a really strong team. So I don't know how fully I expressed my congratulations to you at our last meeting. I want to take the time to do that tonight as well. Okay, that's what I've got. I'll go to Vice Chair.
Yeah, I look forward to working with you too, Terrell. I think we're going to have some really good conversations. Look forward to it. I'll probably be in your office or in this building more than you want me to, but I appreciate it, and I know how hard you work. So I appreciate that, and I look forward to working with you on that. Thank you for the comment on political director. I just heard a great campaign speech, and after the meeting tonight, I'm going to go give somebody about 10 seconds, 20 seconds of political advice. So with that, I am done.
Let's go to Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. My apologies for being a little late to our first meeting. We had a very important task today. We moved the wall from Galesburg over to Harper Creek Schools tonight. They'll be set up and operational, the healing wall. This will be, I think, my third or fourth time of participating with that. And it was a great honor to be a part of that. And I encourage everybody to take a moment, if they can, go over to Harper Creek Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and see that wall. We had a huge crowd that was there. Hundreds of motorcycles were in the procession. We had people at all the corners. There were people in all the way over through Battle Creek out being very supportive, and I appreciate every one of them that came out and supported this thing for our veterans. It's important for them to heal. It's important for us to heal. It was a very harsh reality of back in the 70s and 80s when this was going on. So we need to keep them in mind, our veterans and stuff. As I always say, we need to, when you see our veterans, our military men and women that protect us abroad, take a moment to thank them. I saw some today, and thank them, and they were thanking me for doing my side on the civil side, on the law enforcement side. And we need to thank those folks, that both the men and women and our firemen and policemen and medical folks out there, that keep us safe day in, day out. We also got to be mindful of our other employees here in the county and the municipal employees that work out in our community, making Kalamazoo a great place to live, work, and play. Got it in, Dale. Took me 4 minutes and 52 seconds. And I appreciate all you folks up here on the council who, most folks don't realize that it's not just a couple times a month we get together and that's all we do. There are many, many meetings that we attend and committees that we're on, where we're trying to make Kalamazoo a great place to live, work, and play. Got it in twice. I'm going for a new record tonight.
Say it one more time.
One more time? One more time. I'll try to get to it. So, but the work that you all do is really, people do not understand it. And they need to appreciate what you all do. And so when somebody says thank you to you for what you're doing, tell them that they're welcome. So, but we need to be thankful for our community. Kalamazoo is quite a place. We're trying to make it a great place here, and our workers, our custodial staff, our law enforcement, our prosecutors, our courts, all work diligently every day to keep Kalamazoo a safe place for folks and our businesses to thrive and prosper. Thanks, Administrator Cole. Congratulations, Council, for your hard work, and I look forward to working with you folks. And as we move down through the ranks and keeping our community a great place to live, work, and play. Got it for you.
Too much. With that, on that high note, let's take it over to Interim Administrator Cole.
Chair, commissioners here and departing, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you all. And with that, a couple of announcements. As you know, Chief of Staff Sutton sent out availability for the special meetings, 2 meetings, one on facilities and another on compensation and wages. Those are scheduled for August 28th at 9 a.m. and September 4th at 9 a.m. Not 8, 9 a.m. You're welcome. To the body, to the body. Up next is, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. The 28th, Friday the 28th at 9 a.m. and Friday the 4th at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. You said it'll be here. Yeah, in 207A. Next, the commissioners are invited to attend a regional summit, Building Capital for Housing, which will have the Deputy Housing Director, Willa DiToronto, will be presenting on the Kalamazoo County housing millage and the county's approach to addressing the critical issue of housing and all the needs. Other featured speakers include Gregory Haller, Christopher Miller, Jackie, I'm going to butcher this name, but Jackie Ludicky, Borazan. I almost rolled an R, may have been appropriate or not, but this will be held Tuesday, August 25th, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. In Lawrence, Michigan, at the Van Buren Conference Center. Up next is also our Winter Solutions regional participation. Letters requesting participation in the Continuing Care's Winter Solutions efforts have been sent to surrounding jurisdictions. Commissioners are encouraged to contact their counterparts and support the regional financial participation in the upcoming winter season. Texas Township Deputy Director de Toronto is scheduled to present on August 24th at 6 p.m. Oshnell Township Director de Toronto is scheduled to present on the 25th at 5:30. The request is to appear at the City of Portage's agenda on the 25th, where both, Deputy County Administrator Lindy Smith will attend. Kalamazoo Township, the discussion has been tabled until November, and City of Parchment and Comstock, neither jurisdiction is able to consider the request at this time. On a good note for Vice Chair Pro Tem, the Kalamazoo County Fair planning, we expect to get some good information from Director Rakowitz, provide updated fair data, and in a request individual meetings with commissioners for feedback on their experiences with the fair. Presentation will be scheduled for the September 1st board meeting, where we'll be gathering some direction of how next year would go. I met with, just in terms of ramping up for this role, I had an opportunity to meet with our lobbyist. And so I look forward to reaching out to all the commissioners and also our local elected officials and just identifying opportunities because the county may have a new voice there. And so just aligning those efforts and prioritizations is an opportunity. I wanted to make sure we jumped on top of that. Some major project updates as far as the jail water. We received some test results looking very promising. We want to continue that for consistency. One more round of tests, and we hope to have some really good news in October. So we are trending very positively in the reduction and spot checking of certain fixtures, eliminating those fixtures to where the water quality would be stable. So we don't want to oversell that. We're going to go through the round of testing, and we're looking at October as being that time frame. Not much change because of the long lead time for the building elevators, but all those items are still moving forward for the front entrance as well as the elevators. And that is the report. I try to keep it comprehensive yet brief. So you can go home, live, and play. Maybe work a little bit more.
I probably will be working a little bit more. One thing I'll just add, the housing conference that you mentioned that Deputy Director de Toronto will be presenting at is also available virtually if folks can't travel to Van Buren, that you can hop online and participate. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. On our parking structure, I'm seeing good progress. I assume we're still on target and within budget.
Yes, Commissioner, we are still on target and on budget. And probably moreover is the coordination between the city and this project. So those infield teams are coordinating and adjusting schedules to try and address as much of the impact as possible. So without sacrificing time and schedule.
Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. For those 9 a.m. meetings, can we have breakfast sandwiches or something? Not those chips.
I have a griddle. And I will make something happen for this body because you need your energy. Absolutely. I understand. Something more than a Pop-Tart. I got you. Yeah.
We're a difficult bunch. We really are, but you handle it well. Speak for myself. Okay. All right. With that, anything further, Administrator? All right, we will go on next to member comments. Who wants to start? You want to start, Tammy?
I'll go first, so I can leave first.
Commissioner Ray.
I don't really have anything. Congratulations again, Commissioner Strebs, Administrator. I forgot what I was gonna say to you. It was kind of weird not hearing public comment from Zach with him being here. And then the last thing, the folks that were here talking about the flat cameras, I thought that was really important. And I wish that more people would come to the county commission meetings and talk about those issues. I think it was over the weekend, somebody asked me to pull up somewhere, and I was like, I don't want my license plate on the flock cameras. Like, we shouldn't have to think like that. So I think they're doing some really important work, and I can't wait till tomorrow to send an email to my city commissioners, because I hadn't even thought about advocating in that way. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you, Chair. I will start out with reporting on my committees, and I sit on the Public Arts Commission, and leadership there on the Public Arts Commission is trying to realign their meeting structure with the bylaws so that they're following the rules. I kind of informed them of the different rules they're supposed to be following, and they were very surprised. And so they're also going to probably reach out to us as commissioners, in the city of Kalamazoo and Portage, just to reaffirm that we are still in support of public arts, that we still want them to exist. I know I'm in support of it, and see the importance, but they just want to make sure that it's still relevant to the municipalities they serve. So Director Ghosh covered Discover Kalamazoo for me, so I don't need to really do that. I think that's it, but congratulations again to you. Congratulations, Administrator. Thanks. Oh, I did want to say, whoever was involved in Dr. Catlin's going away party, you guys did a phenomenal job, and the cupcakes were delicious. So thank you for that. That was an amazing going away.
So sad I missed that. I didn't mean to thank the commissioners needing to be thanked again, so please don't feel the need to do that, and thank you. Commissioner Morales.
Well, Chair, congratulations. Administrator, recently I have been putting up flock camera information on my story and my feeds. I've seen 3 different incidents. One, a Black woman held at gunpoint because her tag was like 1 letter short. The flock camera read the number. They pulled her. I'm sorry. Yeah, and so I saw the video. People are being held at gunpoint. Children are in the car because their vehicles have been reported stolen. I saw an individual traveling from a not cannabis friendly state to Michigan, and that flock camera followed him to Michigan and back and had them arrested. I also saw another vehicle, like I said, and I just, in a way, my vehicle got stolen, and that's how I got it back, because of a flock camera, and I got it back in like 12 hours. It was destroyed, and it was right around the corner. I think it was on the way to the chop shop. But, from the data that I've seen, especially like coming out of California, these cameras are doing more harm than good. It reminds me of the Hunger Games. Like when I watched it years ago to what I see now, it's like it's coming into fruition. And I would like to see, at least some standards around it. To the last one, it slipped my mind, but the young woman who traveled from Texas to get an abortion in another state, they followed her via flock camera. And yeah, so I mean, the way it's being used, officers stalking individuals, their ex-girlfriends, I think we just need to be mindful of that. Other than that, school is starting. I heard about another individual, was it Sunday, getting shot. Like, we're doing so much hard work with gun violence initiatives. And I just want to, as a reminder, that sometimes even when you come from 2-parent homes, that doesn't mean that your child won't be the one shooting somebody, or your child won't be the one in a place where they shouldn't be because they want to be in the it crowd or whatever it may be. I just don't understand, for the life of me, coming from a larger city, how guns even get in. I don't even have an AK-47 in my house. I have a bat. I have a nice gun. you know, but the weapons with clips and all the things that are infiltrating the city of Kalamazoo, when I see police reports, is just mind-boggling to me on how we even get these weapons into our most vulnerable parts of the city. So I just want to thank the gun violence committee. I can't think of the name right now because perimenopause is kicking my butt. I have a fan on right now, but Commissioner Ray, I just want to publicly thank you for all of your work that you do with gun violence. I don't think that you get your flowers often. I was just telling Commissioner Strips, like, she is so smart. Anything we talk about, she'll pull some information from 1862 and be like, that's not what we said. And then Commissioner Ray will be like, first of all, at the last meeting, we said X, Y, and Z. So just keeping me in this perimenopause on my P's and Q's on all the things that I don't remember. That's pretty much all I have. I'm excited about the new year. Yeah, you can put that on me too. Let it blow. I got a silk press today. Come on. As we start our new year, Jesus, as we start our new year, I just, you know, it's 2 weeks away, 2 or 3 weeks away. I just hope that we have somebody telling me to shut up on my phone. I just want, you know, this year to be intentional. I want, you know, our kids going into schools, for the folks that they are hiring, that sometimes I feel, sometimes we perpetuate crap as adults. You know, we make kids feel uncomfortable, we pick at them, and then when they retaliate, it's just an ugly outcome. I just hope that school systems this year really work hard to not suspend students and send them home for, you know, silly things that can be addressed. I think when you start kicking kids out of school, that sense of belonging, that imposter syndrome is so much harder when they're trying to get a trade, and it messes with their social skills. I've been in education for 25 years and I know I'm ranting, but it's so hard to get them back on track at 19 and 20, and then they're 30 and they're reading at a 5th and 6th grade level. Like like we could do all the childcare stuff, we could hire all these people, but you know, if we don't really start digging into how our kids between the ages of 3 and 5 are coming into the educational system, when I'm 70, we're still going to be talking about this, and I really don't want to talk about this in the next 20 years. So thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk. Have a good night.
Thank you, Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Mazer.
Big surprise. Congratulations. And congratulations to you too. Thank you very much. Just one little item though. I went to the county fair, and in honor of Commissioner Gisler, I got elephant ears, and they were fabulous. And the fair was wonderful. It was really, really fun. I went through the goat barn at the 4-H. I want to get a goat now. A baby goat. I need, but I don't think I can do that in my neighborhood. That's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Mazer. Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I did go to the county fair, and I did have an elephant ear, and I've got a picture to prove it. And I hadn't been to a rodeo, and I don't know how long. I haven't been to one, but it's been a long time. I thought that was really super. I enjoyed it immensely. And when we get a report, I hope that it paid for itself. That'd be great. We don't have to make money, just don't lose any. And with respect to things that have come up tonight in my mind, I noticed I was the only commissioner that didn't get any acknowledgement from you. I felt really hurt.
You are right. And after honoring what a liberal heart you have inside of yourself too tonight, allow me though, Commissioner.
Well,
Gisler.
I just want to remind you that I said this
Yes.
last time. Congratulations on your election
Yes.
victory, but I hope you lose in the general because you're too damn good where you are right now, doing such a good job.
Yes.
So.
You're very kind, and I mean.
No, I'm not. I'm really selfish and ugly.
There's some honesty.
Healing process.
Yes, there you go. Well,
I'm sorry to have shorted you. Now I'm paying the price. So see that. Thank you, Commissioner.
With respect to flock cameras, I didn't know what a flock camera was until a couple months ago. And they are double-edged swords. They can cut good or they can cut bad. So I sent a note the minute I heard what it was to both our sheriff and the guy that heads up IT for the KDPS, who's now also the clerk of Waukesha Township, Mike Fry. And they both got back to me real quick. And they said, the use of a flock camera on our turf has helped us solve many cases. And it wasn't 100, it was maybe 50 or 60 that would not have been solved before. The thing that's important about it is when that data is collected and stored, you gotta really make sure who does have access to it. And if any guy can just walk in and say, well, here's my badge, I want to take a look at all the things going on the east side last week, that doesn't cut it. It takes something more than that. And I don't know exactly what those things are, but I definitely don't want to see us jump on the anti-flock bandwagon prematurely. They do serve some purpose and they do help. They may also hinder in ways, but let's talk about it. Let's not jump to any conclusions. And the last thing, the Veterans Service Office. Did you deliver these? No, because you came in after I did. I'll have to, I should have undone these beforehand. What? Well, it said it's for Commissioner Gisler from the Veterans Service Office. And thank you, Veterans Service Office. I'll wear these with pride. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeLeeuw.
Well, I'll reserve my right to speak about flock cameras in the future. Administrator Cole, you seem like a natural in that chair there already, so happy to have you. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., if you all get emails from the MAC, Michigan Association of Counties, from 11 to 12 is an online county commissioner training for budgets. So I will certainly be partaking in that. It's free, just got to sign up. And one more time to Chair Strabs on her campaign, although she was juggling 100 things at the time, whenever she called me, she knew exactly how much more I could get. So, and it worked. Thank you.
Colleagues, you're also fun. I appreciate our camaraderie here. And with that, I think we are now adjourned.